Right, okay, well here we are in the fantastic Puma ST-Line X. This is the 125 horsepower mild hybrid. Just been to do a test drive with one of my customers in Steeple Clayton who has loved the car. Really the purpose for this video is to let people know that we have actually got a Puma on order, which is available for sale. It's going to be here towards the end of April. It's exactly the same as this one. It's in Desert Island Blue and it is an ST-Line X 125 mild hybrid manual transmission. I just thought I'd do a bit of a test drive really as we go back to Buckingham and give you a heads up as to what these cars are all about. They're what's known as a mild hybrid. So you've got an electric motor that augments the petrol engine and gives it a bit more power when it's needed. So it gives you a bit more urge, improves your fuel consumption and also helps the emissions. It can't drive solely on electric. It's got to have the petrol engine running at all times. Although what it will do, it will run or coast down to a junction as an advancement of the auto stop start. So from 100 yards out, if you slow down, there's the pre-collision assist. It thought I was going to hit one of those parked cars, which wasn't my aim. Yeah, so it will go on to it'll turn the engine off, it'll turn the petrol engine off and coast to a halt. So that saves a hell of a lot of petrol. But they really are a good drive. I mean, I've done quite a few miles in these myself now. And honestly, they're a 1 litre turbo, but if you're not familiar with the EcoBoost engine and you've never driven a mild hybrid, it might be an idea to come and try one because they have got loads and loads of power. If you were to put your foot down in 5th gear, you'd be quite surprised. It's like driving an old school 2 litre, the sort of urge that you've got. But in terms of drive, they are very different to a Fiesta. So if you just think, well, hold on a minute, it's just a Fiesta which has been jacked up a bit. It isn't. It's more refined than a Fiesta. It has much more room in it than a Fiesta, notably more shoulder room. And you've got a fantastic mega box in the boot, which gives you a heck of a lot of space, gives you better boot space than a Focus. But the drive on these is really lovely. You can change into 6th gear at 40 miles an hour like I did there. And I better lift off because I'll be speeding in a minute. They really are quite rapid. You've got various different modes you can change as well. In the mode I'm driving at the moment, just in the normal mode, if I press the button down here by the gear shift, it's now put it into Eco mode, which will limit the engine's power, dull the throttle response a little bit, but it will save you a lot of fuel. If I press the button again, it puts it into Sport mode, which effectively does the opposite. It sharpens up the throttle response, makes the car a bit quicker, and limits the intervention of traction control and ABS. I press it again, it goes to slippery mode. So if you're driving on an icy road, then it will give you more assistance from ABS, traction control and electronic stability program, and it won't make the engine do anything jerky. So if you floor the throttle, it will dull the response as you're not losing traction. You've also got a trail mode, which is for driving on gravel and loose surfaces, very similar to slippery mode, although it does turn off the ESP. I'm going to go back to normal now and pay attention to these rather bumpy roads. Good old HS2 and East West Rail, they've made the roads very bumpy, which shows how well the Puma copes with potholes and irregularities in the road surface. We'll give you a little bit of information about more on this vehicle in that the ST-Line X is equipped with cruise control, which is simplicity itself to control. You have a button on the left-hand side of the steering wheel that looks like a speedo dial with an arrow. You press that, and what it will say on the dial on the system in front of you, it will bring up a set icon with a picture of the cruise control icon below it. All you then do is use the thumb button in the middle, press it upwards, and there we go, we're doing 45 miles an hour. And until I press the brake, that continues to do 45 miles an hour. Press the brake now, there you go, it'll coast back down to 0. This car also has climate control. There are 2 large dials on the centre console which operate the main climate controls features. You've got hot and cold, and it will then display a temperature on the big screen, and you've got the blower. I tend to put it on auto, so set the temperature, put it to auto, and then what it will do, it will use the heating to heat up, or the climate control and the aircon to cool down. But yeah, I mean, I think the main thing is to say that we have got one of these that hasn't got a home. So a new car to be available late April, the 1 litre 125 MHEV ST-Line X in Desert Island Blue. Now normally if you were to order one of these, you could probably look at a 7 to 8 month lead time, but you might be lucky enough if you put your name on the blue one we've got coming, to be in it before the end of April. But we will post some details along with this video of the actual car and give a couple of examples as to what it would cost to fund. Here we go, look, pulled up now, that's turned itself off. Very clever, you know, very clever. But anyway, you come and drive this one and find out for yourselves how good it is.